Well, it's just wrong, damn it, you know? It's just wrong. One of the great joys of my life is that I have friends that I love, who I know, who know me. It's the reason why we're here. And yet, I don't see them for a while. I can't, at this time of year, there are many, many things on my list of things to be grateful for. Every last one of them has a name, has a personal name. And a lot of them are here right now. I wrote this very, very recently. This has not really come out in public yet, this particular song. So I'm kind of airing it here. Gosh, those are my keys. I wish they were. I just thought that would be funny to say. It would be typical for them to be, but no, they're not. So this is very, very, very recent. It's called Sanctuary, and oddly enough, that happens to be where I am right now. It's all of a sudden. I'm going to put a tune with it also, and it's called The History Man. It was written by, excuse me, that wasn't his name. Andy Cutting. Andy Cutting. To rest with no strength to stand, when your kingdom is laid waste by some careless hand, when your pillow is a stone on a bed of sand, when you find yourself alone in a stranger's land, when the voice that sounds most clear is your enemy, hear this echoed far and near. You are safe with me. Shifting ground, tensing for the starting gun, deaf to softer sound. dreams, day and night. Something, someone seems to hunt you down. Hear my voice, take my hand, stop and turn around. When you start this race again, take these words for free, my own, my true, my trusted friend. You are safe with me. And it goes thusly, the chorus does. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy. Think you got it? Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Welcome, I won't keep you long. Fill a glass and sing a song. What comes with a hug and kiss fills your heart and sounds like this. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy. Welcome to the house of love, glory in the sun above. Hear a whisper of delight come to find you in the night. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Life's a rich and muddled mess. We squander, cherish, curse, and bless. Though it passes much the same, echoing my mother's name. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Heavy heart is a heavy load. Let your lonesome sorrows be. Drop your burden and sing with me. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy. So welcome, I won't keep you long. Drink a glass and sing a song. What comes with a hug and kiss fills your heart and sounds like this. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy, 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 joy. Joy.
Well,
Yay!
oh,
How
picture.
about-
That means to
how
be
about a
us.
picture of us. That's
There we
nice
go.
shit, but
There we go. Ha! There we
go.
are. Gotta move the
Ooh,
camera a
there we
bit.
are. I think I just wounded you with my
Yeah,
guitar.
probably. There we go. So, welcome to Fortnight of Doom on this extremely hot day where probably
It's
everyone
not
is
extremely
inside.
hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
bunch
we-
of whips.
And we get to have Kat again.
Woo!
Every
Thank you.
Yes.
year, at least.
So, I don't know if you heard that, Kat. That was a little bootleg Kat Eggleston.
I did hear that. I did
Yeah.
hear it. I loved it. Was
remember
it
when
from
that
the one of the Christmas shows?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And if you ever want it, let me know. I'll give it to you. So, it's just,
I'll take it.
yeah, I'll
Okay.
I'll put it on my Dropbox for you or whatever, and get it to you. You can have it, no strings attached. So yeah, cause it's a brilliant version of Sanctuary.
And you sang it for.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, it was Sanctuary
Yeah,
and then Joy.
And
I didn't. I wasn't present for Sanctuary. I was planning on doing that today, though, with the actual the way that History Man is supposed to be played,
Well, no,
which I did not do.
yeah, no, but this was live, and I just and I was recording the whole thing, and I grabbed it. So it's whatever version you did then is gorgeous. So
It is. Anything you do
Thank
is
you.
gorgeous. So
Yeah. Yeah,
why pick? Why get picky, huh?
I know exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna start singing here.
Yeah.
And then she's gonna
guys.
sing, and then we're gonna sing, and she's gonna sing, and we're gonna
Yeah.
play
We'll do
until
that.
we run out of time.
Oh, I gotta find something
Or
to sing
voice.
with. Yes, hold
Or
on
beer.
a second here, or voice or beer or something. There we go. All right, pull that up.
All right. Well, this was the song that got caused my entree into Victory Music's circle of folkies at the old Rustin Inn.
Rustin' In. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Oh God.
Rest in peace, Rustin Inn. All right. This is a fake folk song written by Dylan Buston
Yep.
to sound like it was written way before he was born.
Yep.
Some rose up, but we floats down, way down the Ohio to Shawnee Town. And it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down in Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Now the current's got her and we'll take up the slack. We'll float her down to Shawnee Town and bushwhack her back. And it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down in Shawnee Town on the Ohio. The whiskey's in the jug, boys, the wheat is in the sack. We'll trade 'em down to Shawnee Town and bring the rock salt back. And then it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down in Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Got a gal in Louisville, one in New Orleans. When I get to Shawnee Town, I'm gonna see my Indian queen. And then it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down in Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Water's mighty warm, boys. The air is cold and dank. And the cursed fog, it gets so thick you cannot see the bank. And it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down in Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Been a-working on this river, boys, so Dad burned many years. Sometimes this water, boys, seems like this old heart's tears. And then it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down in Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Well, some rose up, but we floats down, way down the Ohio to Shawnee Town. And it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down in Shawnee Town on the Ohio. That's way down in Shawnee Town on the Ohio.
There we go. All right.
All right, so Sally and all the other people who are listening, whoever you are, if you want to tell us how our sound mix is, Does somebody need to be louder, softer, or just go away? I don't know.
Maybe it's the go away part.
Could be. All right. And now for something completely different.
Yes. Oh, and we need to mention, of course, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, and thank you for having it with us. I'm gonna call my mom after this. So, and yeah, and it's oh, hey Percy, nice to see you, and Katrina's here, bunch of people. So this is a happy thing, and
yeah, we're actually doing this on Sunday makes it easier for the folks in the Tri-Cities because they aren't trying to get to a concert.
Oh, that's right. Well, did they
All
actually?
right.
Okay.
And this, actually, our whole set is kind of a sing-along set. So
It is. So feel free to sing along.
Yeah. Just don't try to jump into Zoom and try to sing along with us. We know that doesn't work.
No, please don't do that.
Oh, when the sun beats down and heats the tar up on the roof, and the pavement's so hard you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. Oh, from the park you hear the happy sound of the carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs, French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah. On a blanket with my baby, that's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun. Under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
All right. Okay, let me get this done. Na, 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 na.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. No, I don't want to see. Okay, there. That's what.
There we are.
That's what I want. I want to look at Kat now. I've seen us before.
They don't want to see us.
All through. Hey, Kat, I just have one question. When
Yes,
did you
sir.
start aging?
When are you going to get your eyes checked, Dan? That's really sweet of you. I should have been more gracious about that. Thank you.
Well, unfortunately I tend to agree with Dan. I just you.
No, we both wear glasses.
I am wearing glasses and I haven't seen any new ones, but you know. But,
I don't know.
Basically, you're eternal fans, no matter what. So.
Thank you. Back at you. I'm just so happy to see you guys. It feels like being invited to a party.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's what we hope.
Good.
So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So for those of you who seem to think it's a bit blurry, that's typically because it's a low bandwidth issue, not
Katrina
because we're.
says it's fuzzy. Okay.
Yeah,
we need. Sally
Yep.
says we need the donation link.
We do. I have the donation link, and it will be put up. So
Yep.
Cool.
And just to let anybody who might be a new person doesn't know that we do this. We started doing this on June 6th, 2000.
Was it
2020.
2020, yes.
Right.
Yeah.
As a way to, among other things, help our fellow musicians weather the plague.
Yes.
And seeing as there's still, not just that plague supposedly is over, but we got a bunch of other plagues coming up. So
Yeah, and that's why
we
we
just keep going like that. Keep calling it the Fortnight of Doom.
Yeah.
At one point, I wanted to change that name.
Yeah, but he wanted to do it monthly, and the problem with that is that there's no good thing. So Fortnite of Doom, it remains for that reason.
So I
And-
had the moon.
Excellent.
yeah, but I mean, we're going to continue doing it because the reality, what a strange thing happened is that we ended up getting people that weren't here, and so we've, sometimes a lot of times my family would tune in the UK much later and watch it. So we've had Tom Lewis from Ireland on here, and we're hoping to do more.
Really?
Yes.
So yeah, so really it's a bit of a international thing now.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yes.
We're internationally known. Okay.
Let's
stop talking.
one person.
And yield the microphone to
Yes.
the blonde over there.
Yes, please play us some music.
Oh, excellent. All right then. Well, I mean, thank goodness we had Zoom and we had the internet for this particular most recent plague. My friend John Wiseman in the Chicago area, wrote a song that you guys really should learn it. It's called "The Future's Not What It Used to Be."
Ooh,
One of my favorite sentences.
Yeah, it's a really great song. And there's an audience participation moment when everybody shouts, "Where's my flying car?" But at least we did have Zoom. The whole thing reminded me of the Jetsons. Remembering back to, the treadmill.
Oh God, yes.
The treadmill and the Zoom thing, and I mean, it's just nuts. Okay. Well, I have I have nothing at all to follow on the boardwalk with, so I'm going to do something completely different.
That's
Cool.
what we did.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to do a cover too. So, a song by Michael Peter Smith from Chicago, Illinois. He was my favorite songwriter when he was alive. He was one of my favorite people too. Okay, along with a waltz called Midnight on the Water, which I know you guys know. All of the riverboat gamblers, they are losing their shirts. All of the brave Union soldier boys sleep in the dirt. You know and I know there never was reason to hurt when all of our lives were entwined to begin with here in Spoon River. All of the calico dresses, the gingham and lace, they are up in the attic with grandfather's Derringer case. There's words whispered down in the parlor, a shadowy face. The morning is heavy with one more beginning here in Spoon River. Come to the dance, Mary Perkins, I like you right well. The Union's preserved. If you listen, you can hear all the bells. There must be a heaven, God knows. I've seen mostly hell. My rig is outside, coming right through the morning here in Spoon River. Here in Spoon River. Here.
Collective sigh from the Whateverly Brothers.
Thanks.
Cool. That's just lovely.
Oh, I love that song. The first person I ever heard sing it is probably the same one anybody did. It was Claudia Schmidt, who is coming back out here in October.
Really?
Coming back out here in October, so she's going to be playing here on the island on I think the 18th, if I remember properly, and I'm sure she'll be playing elsewhere.
Yeah. I've been a fan of hers. I remember when she burst onto the scene early on when I was in my recording career, and she started showing up. So yeah.
She just keeps getting better.
Yeah. Yep.
She's amazing. Something a little more on the lighthearted side.
Okay.
It's just about the right time for this. It's an Irish one. Of course it is. As I rode out one fine May morning, calm and clear was the weather, I chanced to roam some miles from home among the beautiful blooming heather, heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor among the heather. I chanced to roam some miles from home among the beautiful blooming heather, heather on the moor. As I rode along with my hunting song, my heart as light as any feather, I met a pretty maid on her way. She was tripping the dew down from the heather, heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. I met a pretty maid on her way. She was tripping the dew down from the heather, heather on the moor. Where are you going, my pretty fair maid? By hill or dale, tell me whither. Right modestly she answered me, to the feeding of my lambs together. Heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. Right modestly she answered me, to the feeding of my lambs together. Heather on the moor. Both shook hands, and down we sat, it being the longest day of the summer. And we sat till the red setting beams of the sun came sparkling down among the heather. Heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. And we sat till the red setting beams of the sun came sparkling down among the heather. Now she said, I must away, my lambs and my sheep have strayed from the other. But I am loath to part from you, as those fond lambs are to part their mother. So up she rose and off she goes, her name, her place, I know not either. But if I were a king, I would make her a queen, this lass I met among the heather. Heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. Oh, if I were a king, I would make her a queen, this lass I met among the heather. Heather on the moor, over the heather, over the moor and among the heather. If I were a king, I would make her a queen, this lass I met among the heather. Heather on the moor.
Lovely, 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 lovely.
Thank you. It's an early version of the I liked her a lot, but I forgot to get her address or her phone number. And I have no idea what her name is. I can't get her email address. Can't find her on Facebook.
What'd you say your name was?
That's like pleasant and delightful. It's like, yeah, I want to marry you, but who are you?
What was your name again? I'm crazy about you. I'll never love anybody else. What was your name again?
I know.
Well, we had a regular piece of stick with that, where he hesitates,
Yeah.
and then I say everyone knew her as.
Yeah, exactly.
Fans of the White Album. Yes.
Yeah, I know. But anyway.
Well, there was a moment when my father was in memory care. There was a moment when I went to visit him, and it started out sad because he thought he was in some terrible place with good friends of his, and he was in tears, and he was saying, he said to me, it was a woman sitting right next to him and three guys sitting close by, and he said, I want you to meet my very good friend. What was your name again? And she said, what? My name is Mary. And he said, oh, Mary, this is Mary. And what are your brothers' names? And she said, I have 3 brothers. Their names are. And they were sort of lost in their own stories there, kind of going at cross purposes. It was absolutely delightful.
Yeah.
Did you play music at the place?
I did just for Dad.
Yeah.
I played some other places, but not there.
I still make a little bit of my living playing it for audiences like that. And there's something really special.
Yeah. Well, you and I
true.
share that because
It's true.
right about the same time, your dad and my father-in-law were all in memory care together at different places.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yep. All right. So, another.
And that was shortly after my mother had been in.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yes.
anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to do a song that we've been doing for years, and then a song that we've never done in public.
Yeah, so this will be actually a debut of a new tune for us, and which means that who knows how it'll actually go.
Yeah, this is one of our
Excellent.
NASCAR songs.
Yeah.
As Rob would put it.
Yeah.
People are going to be watching to see what kind of crashes end up happening.
Exactly. We did want to mention something, and this is of a sober note.
Oh yeah.
Last week we lost an important person to us, and that is Jim Honeycutt.
Honeyman.
I'm God.
What did you say his name was?
Oh God. Jim Honeyman was part of Tumbleweed, and he was a great musician.
A large part.
A large part. He basically took care of all of the sound for Tumbleweed. So those of you who have played, who have been there, you've basically been under his care.
And it's very good care.
And for years and years and years, he basically supplied all the sound for the stages except for, and that's our toast, yes, except for the ones that I did or Rob did or something like that. But either way, he was a terribly important person to us, and he passed away suddenly of a heart attack. And we miss him already. I know we are going to miss him already, so God, I hope we're going to figure that out.
Here's
So
Jim.
this is Jim.
Presente.
Indeed, yes. And
All right.
terrible loss to his family, of course, but to the greater family. So now we're gonna talk about people dying in coal mines or outside of coal mines.
Anywhere close to them, yeah.
Yeah.
Blackleg, for those who aren't familiar with the term, is the equivalent of our term scab.
Yep.
And came out of the coal fields of Britain, where if there was a strike, if you were coming out of anywhere near the mine, and the strikers saw you, they would make you pull up your trouser leg. And if your calves were white, like English white, then you were okay. But if they were black, you'd been down in the pits, and your ass was grass.
Yep. And can we do the right one? Replace pin. There we go.
Some of you may have heard the Steel I Span version of this.
Yeah, and there's some interesting words. You should pay attention to how really nasty the words are.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, down the thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is probably our most violent song.
It's one of the most violent songs we do, yes. And it doesn't have much of a body count. In fact, it really doesn't have any that we know. Well, it has like maybe some.
Well,
but-
we're talking about breaking people's spines.
yeah,
here.
exactly.
I
Well,
mean,
maybe
come
there
on.
is a body count, yeah. So.
It's just implied.
It's implied. There we
Yeah.
go. That's right.
So don't try to count it.
Yeah. It's in the evening after dark when the blackleg miner creeps to work with his moleskin pants and his dirty shirt. There goes the blackleg miner. Well, he takes his tools and down he goes to hew the coal that lies below. There's not a woman in this town row will look at the blackleg miner. It's in the evening after dark when the blackleg miner creeps to work with his moleskin pants and his dirty shirt. There goes the blackleg miner. Oh, Delaval is a terrible place. They rub wet clay in the blackleg's face. Around the heaps they run a trace to catch the blackleg miner. So did again did the Seguil mine. Across the way they stretch a line to catch the throat and break the spine of the dirty blackleg miner. It's in the evening after dark when the blackleg miner creeps to work with his moleskin pants and his dirty shirt. There goes the blackleg miner. They grab his duds and his pick as well and hide them down the pit of hell. Down you go and fare you well, you dirty blackleg miner. So join the union while you may. Don't wait until your dying day, for that may not be far away. That dirty blackleg miner. It's in the evening after dark when the blackleg miner creeps to work with his moleskin pants and his dirty shirt. There goes the blackleg miner. It's in the evening after dark when the blackleg miner creeps to work with his moleskin pants and his dirty shirt. There goes the blackleg miner. Alrighty then.
Great
All right.
song.
Yeah. All right, so this now for
side of whatever
the softer side. If we can make it through, this is a gorgeous song. We got
we hope we do it justice.
Yes, we'll see. We got this from
The McCalmans.
the McCalmans via
Yeah.
the Mike Harding
Oh, yes.
Folk Show.
Yes, indeed.
And if you've never heard of the Mike Harding Folk Show, you absolutely need to if you're a lover of folk music. It's a podcast that broadcast happened. God, he ran it for
Started from about 2011 till just like about 6 months ago.
Yeah, and he finally quit.
Rob Neisler turned us on to it, and then about three episodes later, he said,
He
"Well,
quit.
I'm packing it in."
It's like, wow.
Fortunately, that was episode 309, so I'm
Yeah.
up to 36 now.
Yeah,
myself.
I'm banging away at some of it, but some of this, it's an astonishing curation of folk music. It's folk and blues. I've never come across anything like it.
And he has the most lovely North Country
Yeah, it's a
accent,
lovely
too.
North Country accent. Yeah, I feel right at home. And but he does it. He did it from his shed in the back, and he had a bit of a staff to do it. But it was astonishing. And this is one of the songs that came out of that. It's called "Coming Home."
Well, we're not in the same key at the moment.
It's Capo 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's one.
I was
gotta
right.
get all the way up to 3 here.
What's cool about this song is that it's sort of a Celtic-y song, but it really talks about being accepting of people coming to your door where they've never been before.
The chorus refers to Jock Tamson.
Yeah.
And having done a little bit of research and also having heard sort of via the folk process, Jock Tamson could be a person in Scotland who has adopted children from all around the world. Mm-hmm. That's one of the possibilities.
Yep.
Another is that there was a John Thompson who was a minister in a church near Edinburgh who did a lot for Irish relief during the potato famine. Mm-hmm. And the other possibility is John Thomas, which basically means all of us, because all of us came from John Thomas. And I'm not going to go any further with that.
Thank you very much, Dan. Yeah. So let's see what happens with this, okay? Put a light in your window, your brother's coming home. Set a meal on your table, your brother's coming home. He'll be tired and weary after all these years alone. He's coming home, your brother's coming home. Coming home to a place he's never been. Coming home to a land he's never seen. Coming home to a family he has never known. Old Jock Thompson's band are coming home.
Take the bolt from the door, your sister's coming home. Open wide your arms, your sister's coming home. Don't leave her standing there after all the pain she's known. She's coming home, your sister's coming home.
He's been angry and afraid, your father's coming home. He's been hounded at the grade, your father's coming home. And put out the act of kindness to be the hope in stone. He's coming home, your father's coming home. Coming home to a place he's never been. Coming home to a land he's never been. Coming home to a family he has never known. Old Jock Thompson's band are coming home.
Bring her in from the cold, your mother's coming home. Set her down by the fire, your mother's coming home. Make her warm, make her welcome, before the chance is gone. She's coming home, your mother's coming home.
From their rock and Somalia,
Your family's coming home.
and from Haiti and Honduras,
Your family's coming home.
seeking beds, seeking refuge that they have never known.
They're coming home. Your family's coming home.
Coming home to a place they've never seen.
Coming home to a land they've never seen.
Coming home to a family he has never known. Old Jock Thompson's band are coming home. Coming home to a place they've never been. Coming home to a land they've never seen. Coming home to a family he has never known. Old Jock Thompson's band are coming home. Something like that.
Something like that.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That's great.
I love that song.
I have to learn that song.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got words and chords, so I'll shoot them to you.
Man, that's
And I'll
just
send
wonderful.
you a link to the YouTube link as well.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah. No. The words are
Oh,
astonishing.
it's time for
It's
that.
time for that. It's time
Okay.
for the focus. And by the way, this is my original one. I found my old original one before
God.
I made another one.
An
so-
artifact.
An artifact from the pandemic.
I hope you
I-
cleaned it off.
I
first.
cleaned it off. Yes.
Did you rub Purell on it?
All right. So you have a question for us, right?
I do, yes. I've all too often I'm asking questions that nobody seems to be able to answer, and I'm hoping that this one is really easy, but you never know. It has to do with this lovely female human being in front of us, in front of you and anybody else.
On our screen. Yep.
Right there. Who was Kat's partner in the Ferryboat Musicians? Mm-hmm. Da-dum, dum, 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 da-da-dum, da-dum, dum, 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 da-da-da-da-dum, da-dum.
So remember,
And by the
I
way,
asked you earlier.
what's that?
You remember when I asked you earlier today if you knew who Steve's, oops, who his first partner was? Oops. some
I was
some
just
guy.
about to say,
That guy.
yes, like zip it. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yes, because of
But-
pets,
but I-
friends, and relatives of the Whateverly Brothers are not allowed.
Yeah. Or guess.
Or guests.
But I did find the book though that was written by the guy who came up with the idea originally.
Oh,
His name is Al Levy, and the book is called Blue Water Bluegrass because Al was is a pretty great banjo player, and one of the skippers on the Bainbridge Ferry line in those days was a banjo picker, and so that's how it all got started. It's a wonderful book. I actually found it, and I had it all ready to bring, and somehow I kind of went ahead and didn't. I put it in the wrong place or something. I
so
wanted to tell
how
you.
did you get involved in it? And
in the ferry boats, or
We're
Yeah.
gonna get really close to
Yeah. Okay.
giving the answer.
Well, maybe we'll ask you after. How about that? Yeah.
Somebody,
yeah,
please,
yeah.
please get in touch
Yeah.
with us.
Whoops.
And get the right answer.
Yeah.
And Kat, did you said you might
Damn
have
it.
a question that was easier, even.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Ah.
Let's see here. Hold on a second. Of course,
No.
that came quickly. Who was it? Was it? Well, of course, it was Steve. It was Steve Gouda. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see how many of us.
Who answered, by the way?
It was who? That's a good point. It'd be Percy.
Percy.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder if there's
Yeah.
anything from our pile of
Yeah, pile of something. Yeah, we've actually got something we'll shoot to him.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But so and for that matter, so how did you guys get involved in it? How did you do it? I mean,
Well, it was because Steve and Alan were playing on the ferry boats for a while, and then Al went off and did other things, and Steve kept doing it. And then when Steve and I met, we just started playing music together there, and we
Yeah.
did it for 6 years, I think.
I
6
saw you
years,
in the
yeah.
summer. I saw you crossing the summer of '84.
Yeah, and I know I've
Yeah.
seen because Jan's folks lived in Bainbridge, not in Bainbridge, in Squim, and so we were constantly going back and forth. At the time, we were living south, so we were taking the Bainbridge ferry a lot, and so that's when we came across it. And of course, and then Tanya, of course, Tanya was on there, picked it up later, and then the other gentleman
Yeah.
that she played with, I don't
Oh,
remember.
Mark Geisler.
Mark Eisler, yes, that's right, yes, yeah. So yeah, and just it's an astonishing, to my mind, one of those gorgeous pieces of Pacific Northwest, trivia, if you will. But that,
Well, I often tell. No, I better not tell the story.
yeah. But anyway,
'Cause
so
it takes too long. So let's
how about we get some music instead
Yeah.
of us yakking on? So
Yeah, really.
yeah. So yes,
It was
Here,
fun, though.
It's over there.
yeah. All right.
Well, well, okay, this is one of mine. It's not recorded, and I hope to God I remember it. But we've got a couple of grocery stores here on Vashon Island, and one of them is just the one that I go to most of the time is one of those places where you just never know what's going to happen. You just never know who you're going to meet, what news you're going to get. Some of it's not good, some of it's hilarious. There was a moment when I ran into some people, and I said, "Hey, you know what? Somebody just got engaged over by the salad bar." And I said, "Really?" I said, "No." But you believed me, because that's the kind of thing that happens there. You just never know. So I sort of made up some of this, and I compiled a few things together. This is called Happy to See You. I'm happy to see you today. It's gotta be more than a year. But I never shop on the weekends, I guess, and everyone seems to be here. There's gotta be some kind of rule. I see everybody I know all in one place, but only on days when I look like I slept in my clothes. Tra-la-la-la, it just doesn't matter. When we were in college, I'm sure I was fatter, and I'm pretty sure everybody remembers, 'cause small towns are always that way. But I'm happy to see you today. There's nothing I need in aisle 5. I'm sorry I look so annoyed. But it's not about you, it's a guy in aisle 2 I kinda just want to avoid. I think someone just got engaged by the salad bar in aisle 1. And off to your left there's a sale on peaches and some kind of church going on. There's so much happening, it really is all a blur. Some conference call between several customers, and none of them know that they're all in the same store. Is that a flash mob of mimes done in aisle 4? Someone is holding auditions to Oliver. Is that the next school play? Well, anyway, I'm happy to see you today. I'm sorry. How have you been? Forgive my silence, I didn't know. Is there anything I can do? Everyone knows we're on limited time, but still somehow it can feel like a crime when someone we know that we feel is just fine is suddenly taken away. But I'm happy to see you tomorrow for dinner at 6. Among all the dumb things we can't seem to fix, at least we can get together to sit and find the time to say, I'm happy to see you today.
Brilliant. Absolutely
it's
brilliant.
it's a there are many more verses that I keep kind of coming up with when I go to the
It's a song
store.
that
It's
can
really
grow.
Yes.
It's infertile ground.
yeah. So this is the one that ends my play, the Cyclone Line, which I really do hope that at some point I'll be remounting. We were supposed to do this. We were supposed to do it at the Whidbey Island Arts Center, which is just amazing. It's a wonderful place,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
and we were all set to do that, and then the pandemic hit, and so the rug went out. But I hope we do it again. The play, for anybody who might not know, was based on the stories I got from my dad when I found out that he was in the Dust Bowl, that he was raised there. I knew he was from Oklahoma, but I didn't know anything about it until he heard the songs of Woody Guthrie, and then he started talking. So this one, I feel like I didn't actually write it because I got it in a dream. It was being sung to me by Johnny Cash. You're not going to argue with Johnny. So I saw him walking away through a crowd of people and singing to a little boy. And he was singing an old folk song, I thought, about the passage of time and how quickly it happens. And then I woke up and I thought, I love that old folk song. I wish I'd written. Wait a minute, I did write that. Did I write that? So then I did write it because I remembered most of it, and it was, if someone has Alzheimer's or dementia, umbrella stuff, you never say goodbye to them. You're kind of always saying it, and you never say it. So this was kind of my way of feeling like a goodbye had been said somehow, because he was he wouldn't have understood. I think I played it for him, but he didn't understand it at that point.
Yeah. It's another
Hey,
connection.
Claudia,
Yeah. Children of parents of the Dust Bowl. My in-laws were there just the same time. Yeah. In Oklahoma. No, Kansas. Sorry, wrong one. Yeah.
we need to be taught more about that. Thankfully, people are doing that. Sometimes I get to do programs for kids about it. 'Cause,
Well,
The
we
Worst
should-
Hard Time is the book to read.
Yeah, we
by
should
Tim
mention
Egan.
the great PBS movie, of course.
Yes, which I have only seen bits and pieces of. It was on when Dad was still at home, and I had to turn the TV off whenever he was around because it was too much for him.
Yeah. Well,
But
what
it
we
was
did know, I should mention this, is that there's an astonishing opening sequence of a dust cloud coming down. That's
Black Sunday.
Black Sunday, of that dust cloud coming down a main street. That picture is astonishing. Years later, we're sitting around the dinner table with Jan's folks, and we mentioned this, and Gail said, "Oh, I was there." That was my father-in-law. He goes, "What?" Yeah, he said that was Ulysses, where that's where he grew up. I said, "Yeah, I was standing in a doorway to the side of it, and I saw this coming down. And I saw this guy with a camera standing in the middle of the road, ready to shoot this thing. And I went, what the hell?" And so he walks out and stands behind the camera. Yeah, absolute truth.
Oh my God! When you said he was there, you mean right there when that photo was
there,
being
like
In the
yeah,
most
right.
famous photo of the Dust Bowl.
Yeah, he was. It's shot in Main Street from Ulysses, Kansas. Which is where he grew up.
According to The Worst Hard Time, the book written by Tim Egan,
Yeah.
The estimate of how much of our topsoil went up in the air on April 14th in 1935 was about 300,000 tons
Yeah. Yeah. Just
in
that's
one day.
astonishing. Yeah. Yeah. My
And
father.
then it headed east.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Yeah. He grew up. He was in his early childhood there, same when that all happened, and his view, and he was a real storyteller as well, much like your dad. So I heard a lot of the same things. So yeah, pretty remarkable stuff. So play.
okay. Monday morning you were born. Tuesday you were walking. Wednesday you had learned to talk and showed no signs of stopping. Thursday, Friday I looked up and you were off and running. Where you'll go from here, I guess there's just no way of knowing. Oh, the days hurry on, always moving on and on. I have loved you from the dawn and will through the evening. Where you are, the spring has come and all the world is blooming. But summer brings the burning sun before you know it's coming. Here I stand at harvest time, soon it will be snowing. When winter trees hold blackbird leaves, it's then I must be going. Oh, the days hurry on, always moving on and on. I have loved you from the dawn and will through the evening. Maybe you'll grow big and strong. Maybe you'll be lucky. I hope and pray your days are long. Most of them are happy. And someday when you laugh or sing, or if you're sick or grieving, or when at last you're old like me, it's then you'll hear me singing. Oh, the days hurry on, always moving on and on. I have loved you from the dawn and will through the evening. Oh, the days hurry on, always moving on and on. I have loved you from the dawn and will through the evening.
Yeah, I remember that. That's a lovely song. And let us know. Let us know, because I for one would love to see it. I think Jan would probably like to see it too, when you finally get it back.
And Sally and I would like to see it again.
Yeah. So field trip. Yep. Wherever.
Thank you. You know, I do have a video of it. If anybody would like to see it, I can send the video to them. Or if you want to check out my Patreon page, it's up there too.
Okay.
I do have a Patreon.
Link if you would.
Okay.
Well, put it up. We'll put it up.
I'm
here.
really proud of
Yeah,
it.
and maybe
Yeah.
what we'll do is maybe next Fortnight of Doom we'll play it. We'll play a section of it. So yeah, that'd be cool.
I'll give you a short section out of it too.
Yeah.
That's been taken out.
Yeah.
Of when I found out that my dad had been in the dust in Black Sunday, at the moment I found that out, you know.
Yeah. That was.
Thank you.
And what they went through is astonishing. I mean, we can't even relate to the kind of hardship they had.
It was on the scale, sort of like the potato famine, except that
Yeah.
fortunately there was more mobility.
Yeah.
Those that could get enough gas into their jalopies.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then of course they were being turned away at the border of California,
have
which is
that
illegal
do-re-mi,
as hell, of course.
Yeah.
Oh,
Better
yeah.
go
Yeah,
back.
if you ain't got the do-re-mi.
Yeah.
And it was the police chief of Los Angeles County that got that going. I mean, he knew it was illegal. It was still
Yeah.
going for months
Yeah.
and months and months. No, it's amazing. The bum blockade, they called it.
Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah, I'm a bum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song.
You're a former member of the bum squad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do, if you want to mute yourself, don't go away. We're going to do a quick video. And
Nope.
this one actually is from a show we did recently at the Couth. And
The
one of
Couth
our...
Buzzard in lovely, beautiful downtown Greenwood,
Yes. And
Seattle,
actually...
Washington.
Yeah, and we've done some fundraisers. So we actually raised a good bit of money for that last
And
one.
we are just booked June 16th.
June 16th.
There,
Yeah.
we will be at the Couth Buzzard on Friday, June 16th.
And we'll broadcast it live as we it's sort of getting into the. It's actually pretty simple now. That we always like to broadcast that one live as well. So because it's
And the
such a great
following
place.
day,
The following day
at high noon,
at high noon.
we will be at the Edmonds Art Festival.
Yes, indeed. Upstairs, not the big stage. Little stage up there, and we'll be playing. What
It's
was
a
it?
stage we're going through.
Is a stage. And yeah, so we're going to do some tunes there as well. So it'll be fun. So if you go ahead and mute, if you would, mute your video.
And we'll tell you about the next Fortnight of Doom
Yes.
right towards the end.
Right. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen. Da-da-da. And off we go. And make sure that we're here.
Speaking of songwriters, one of the greatest ones we've run into ever is Scott Cook.
Oh, yes.
A guy from the prairie provinces of Canada who, his business card says he's a digital hobo. He lives and works out of a minivan, I believe,
yeah.
and writes some of the most brilliant songs ever written.
Yeah. I mean, just stunning.
And I'm
This is
going to
one
turn
of
the
those.
page because this page is the one I have memorized. It's this page that I don't have memorized.
So,
And I don't want to have to stop in the middle of the song and turn the page.
so what's other than normal?
Yeah.
It's called "Fellas Get Out of the Way."
Get out the way.
Get out of the way.
We got lots of uppity women, still not satisfied with the deal. But let them ride right alongside, now they want to take the wheel. And fellas keep saying we got this, it's the way it's always been done. Don't all the scriptures say a woman should obey? Didn't a man write every last one? Well, you take a little lesson from history. All the priests, generals and kings, there's nothing like long experience to really make a mess out of things. So fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. You've had your turn, you've had your say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. Now they want choice and pay equality. Wouldn't believe how they rant and rave. Back in the day, we just knock 'em on the head and drag 'em on back to the cave. And we're still flexing that privilege, though we find ways to ignore it. And ever subtler ways to say she must have been asking for it. So fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. You've had your turn, you've had your say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. I thank God that she made women. Every time I'm in a crowd of guys, they might do just fine without us. Without them, we'd be Lord of the Flies. Whoever said it was guys before gals, well, that's a load of malarkey. If there's any hope for this whole show, we gotta bring on the matriarchy. So fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. You've had your turn, you've had your say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. I got a guy friend, 30 years married. Backs his wife up however he can. Says, happy wife, happy life. Seems to got a gal friend that's tougher than me. If you cross her, there'll be hell to pay. When I hold the door, it ain't chivalry. Now I'm just getting out of her way. So fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. You've had your turn, you've had your say. Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. One more time! Fellas, get out the way. Fellas, get out the way. You've had your turn, we've had our say. Fellas, get out. Fellas, get out. Fellas, get out the way.
So there you go.
What are we doing for another?
We go.
Ask Kat if she has
Yeah.
another Fortnight of Doom.
Yeah. We love that song. Have you ever, Kat? Have you ever heard of Scott Cook? Can you hear us?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think so.
to know
Well, it's about time, clearly.
He's one of the few people that I think is on your level.
Yeah.
Of genius of songwriting.
Yeah, I first came across him when I was on my stage on the chamber stage at the Juan de Fuca Festival. This guy shows up, and he's a very soft-spoken person, and he picks up his guitar and he starts singing, and you are just complete. And he talked about how he was just completely glued to what he was doing. Never really talked a lot, but he just sang, and his words are stunning. And he, at the time, and maybe not now, he was driving around in a minivan. That's what he lived in. And he talked about the fact that he had like a little thing off the back where he had some plants and things, and that's what he did.
Wow.
Yeah, from what Ontario? No,
One of the prairie
Saskatchewan,
provinces.
one of the prairie provinces in Canada. Yeah, and he just pretty much traveled all the time.
Yeah, he's been around. He also had a stint of teaching preschool.
Yeah.
in Taiwan.
Yeah, and I do know that he's going to be actually at a house concert over on Hood Canal.
Is he doing the thing at the one that we need to get in touch with?
Yes,
that
them.
one.
Yeah, because I just saw a thing. So he's going to be there at least. So he's going to be in town at some point. But well, not really in town. But if you absolutely need to listen to Scott Cook. So
Yeah, clearly.
He wrote a song better than just about anybody else when it talks about the rights of women. So
I'm all for it.
yeah,
I'm all for it.
all right.
Okay.
Do you have another question?
No, not at the moment.
Oh my God.
Kat, do you have a question?
No, so this is actually Dan for the first time, I think in memory, at least in the show. Dan does not have a second Fortnight of Doom question.
Yeah. So I guess the question is, what would be a good second Fortnight of Doom question?
There we go.
I will give you an award to the person who comes up with the best question.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, well, I'm just gonna wave this in front of you.
Upside down?
Upside down. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sort of like the flag when you're in distress, huh?
That's right, exactly. All right, so maybe should we do a tune?
Is it our turn?
It's our turn. Yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
It is.
What are you doing?
That
that
one.
one. Yes. Okay. I need my
Okay.
recorder. All right. Let me get rid of this. Ta-da. Ta-da. And play spin. There we go.
Well, it's still pretty much in tune. As Pete Seeger always used to like to say, when you play a 12-string, you spend half your time tuning and the other half playing out of tune. That would have been a good question. Okay. What did Pete Seeger say about playing 12 strings? Damn.
Oh, well.
Okay.
I once had a girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me her room, isn't it good, Norwegian wood. She asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. Well, I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. I sat on a rug
biding my time, drinking her wine. We talked until 2, and then she said, it's time for bed. She told me she worked in the morning and started to laugh. I told her I didn't and crawled off to sleep in the back. And when I awoke, I was alone. This bird had flown. So I lit a fire. Isn't it good, Norwegian wood?
Well, I'd say sweaty fingers, but oh
Yeah,
well.
I have sweaty fingers.
That's an excuse at
We
the very
both
least
have
of it.
sweaty- We both have sweaty fingers.
Oh well. All right. So
All
what,
right.
what else are we doing?
We're doing that one.
that one. Oh yeah,
Oh, that
yeah,
one.
yeah. Okay, right.
The one where I get to sit back and
Sit back and
sing
wait.
harmony. Oops.
Oh,
Oh,
right. Yeah,
what did,
there we go.
what
That's
did
okay.
you didn't break anything,
I didn't
did
break
you?
anything.
Oh, I need a. What do I do
Do
with
you
my
pick?
flat pick?
Oh, you
I'll
need
go
a flat
get.
pick?
Here,
I need that flat
you
pick.
need that flat. Oh, I use the flat pick from my dulcimer. It's
Oh,
okay.
there you go. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Excuse me, I have to go get it.
Yeah, it was so well rehearsed. Okay, here we go.
Organized we ain't.
And organized we ain't. So, well, this is a song you all know, but this is my arrangement of said song.
And actually, this is the second song in which our late lamented friend Rob Folsom
Yes.
added a verse.
Yes, he
He
did.
added a verse to Shawneetown, the one about been working on this river.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
That's
Okay.
his verse, yeah.
Yeah. And he added the last verse. So the last verse of this tune is Rob Folsom original, and it goes something like this. Well, I should mention that up in the northern part of Scotland, all the way up in the Faroe, not quite to the Faroe Isles, but below that, there used to be a thriving fishing industry, and people lived and they crofted. Crofted meaning that they had sheep, and on those islands, and then that all went away. And now they're mostly the islands pretty much.
People and the sheep.
People and the sheep, mostly they're not there anymore. But during that time, this was one of those songs, and this is from the Isle of Mingulay, and there's a bit of a skip in this, and I put it in there because my parents used to do Scottish cantor dancing, and there is a step called a strass fey, where it's almost a skip, and I couldn't help it when I was doing this, so it goes
A rhythmic hiccup.
a rhythmic hiccup. There we go. Heel ya ho, boys, let her go, boys. Bring her head around into the weather. Heel ya ho, boys, let her go, boys. Sailing homeward to Mingulay. What care we, boys, how white the midge is? What care we, boys, of windy weather, when we know that every inch is sailing homeward to Mingulay. Here you ho, boys, let her go, boys. Bring her head round into the weather. Here you ho, boys, let her go, boys. Sailing homeward to Mingulay. Wives are waiting on the pier heads, gazing seaward from the heather. Pull her head round and we'll anchor ere the sun sets on Mingulay. Here you go, boys, let her go, boys, bring her head round into the weather. Here you go, boys, let her go, boys, begging homeward to Mingulay. Ships return now, heavy laden, mothers holding, barns are crying. They'll return though when the sun sets. They'll return to Mingulay. Here you go, boys, let her go, boys, bring her head round into the weather. Here you go, boys, let her go, boys, leaning homeward to Mingulay. When the wind is wild with shouting and the waves mount ever higher, anxious eyes turn ever seaward to see us home, boys, to Mingulay. Here you ho, boys, let her go, boys, bring her head round into the weather. Here you ho, boys, let her go, boys, sailing homeward to Mingulay. Here you ho, boys, let her go, boys, bring her head round into the weather. Here you ho, boys, let her go, boys, sailing homeward to Mingulay. Rob Folsom on that last verse.
Woo! I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah.
Good old Rob.
Yeah.
Rob was a fine poet, actually. Those of you who don't know who we're talking about, a friend of all of ours, Rob Folsom, was an astonishing singer,
A friend of the world.
a friend of the world, and quite the recording engineer. He was the engineer who did, well, I think, did he do any of your stuff? I'm sure he did, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did Rob record you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He was sort of the go-to person at that time, and but he was quite the poet. And I had the misfortune, unfortunately, to have to deal with his when he passed away. My friend Mark Eiler and Jess and I had to sort through some of his digital world, and but Kathy sent me much later a booklet he'd actually. I don't know if he published it or not, but it's a booklet of his poetry, and it's quite something actually. He was quite the poet, so which
Well,
you would never know if you met him. He was about as foul-mouthed as you can come across most of the time. Had a voice almost like Tom Lewis's, you know.
Yeah, just almost.
Yeah, yeah.
But Tom was a foghorn. I think Rob was more of a sound buoy.
Yeah. He mentored me, and he mentored me for years. Anyway, but we will remember him fondly. Anyway, so yes. Well,
Here's to Rob.
Here's to Rob. There he goes. Another toast. My friend Rob Folsom. Yeah.
Our friend.
Yeah. He was the engineer for what has become, what really is Victory Sings at Sea. And he recorded that, which is kind of, we now know it as kind of the gospel of maritime around here. You know, it was really the first time anything maritime was really
Except
recorded.
nobody can find it
Nobody.
anymore.
Well, I actually have it, I think.
It needs to be reissued.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll talk to Maritime Folk
Yeah.
about that. So,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
After all, there's just
Put it out there on the internet.
amazing
people.
version of Jack Monroe on
Yeah,
that
I mean,
album.
all of the people that you've heard of, it was an astonishing thing. That's what I listened to that and it blew me away. I mean, it really was. It was fine workmanship. It was a gorgeous studio album, and it really
was
laid the
wonderful,
groundwork for all of the
yeah.
maritime music that came later. Really. So yeah. Anyway, we digress as usual. Would you please stop us from digressing and play some music?
Digression, that is my middle name. I gotta say though, you know what? I got that version of Jack Monroe from Pinton Dale though. So Felicia sang it before I did. You know, and
Yep.
it was it was really like yeah.
In looking at their website, I found that you and Felicia had a little duo back like in high school or junior high.
Really? Tell us
Oh,
about
yeah.
this. Oh, please. Oh, please.
Yeah, she taught me my first guitar chords,
Whoa.
and I taught her how to draw.
Ah, my God.
Oh,
I
my-
mean, as kids, we were in my dad's studio. My dad was an artist, you know, and so I taught her a few drawing lessons, you know, as kids. I mean, she was way better than me later, way better than I will ever be. And then she didn't play guitar much after high school. Wow. But we grew up together. I think we got to be we have different memories of how old we were when we met. We were 7 or 8 or something.
Yeah.
And we didn't like each other. We were sort of warring out there on the playground, and I thought she was a bully, and she thought that I was a wimp, and we were both right. and then suddenly one day we just got to be really good friends.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with my husband too. He was in the same class that we were in, and so, you know, with Felicia playing the hurdy-gurdy and the whistles and doing the songs that, you know, that she and William do, and me doing the crazy shit that I do, and John is a fabulous piper,
Oh,
Yes,
God,
indeed.
yes.
We-
Oh,
we
of
Lord,
course,
yes.
you know,
Yeah.
and you know,
And a great
our
sitar
household
player
is
as well. Yeah.
he you know, he plays we sort of specialize in a lot of the instruments that nobody is really ambivalent about. You either love them or hate them. And so our house is full of that kind of thing. His accordions and his banjos. Somebody gave him a starter banjo.
That's one you can throw away with less guilt.
First one's free, little boy.
Is that like start fires? Is that what it's for?
Oh man, it's pretty wonderful. So we got
Yeah.
the banjos and the mandolins and this.
And it's a kind of what goes around comes around.
Yeah, exactly. So,
All right.
Yeah.
if I may ask, where was this in this area? Where you grew up? Vashon?
Vashon Island,
Okay,
right
right,
where
sorry,
I am
yeah.
right
Yeah.
now,
Cool.
right down the road. And
It-
John and I met in Sunday school at his dad's church, which is also just right down the road here, when we were 6. It's not your typical hookup place. It took 50 years, but
Or
you know,
age.
it did. So
Play us.
I
Yeah.
I was told recently by my computer that I had an unstable internet connection, which I'm trusting is gone now because
Yeah.
the owner of this place is a computer guy.
Mm-hmm.
It should be rock solid. This
It's
is
it's
very
great.
nice. of
I
him
have
to
not seen
let me
any issues at all.
Okay, so this is one that I just dug out. I haven't done this in quite a while, but somebody reminded me of it. It's sort of a Love Gone Wrong song, but it's not really. It's more of a reconciling after a long period of time. I wrote this for my favorite ex-husband, Andrew.
All right,
So-
I'm
sorry.
We're doing a little timekeeping here.
Yeah, sorry.
And So what we wanted to do is have you actually play us out with 2 songs.
Yes.
Oh,
Time
okay.
being the time. But before we do that, we did want to do a few announcements.
Yes.
First of all, I think we will repeat the fact that on June 16th, a Friday evening at 7:30, we will be holding forth at the Couth Buzzard in beautiful downtown Greenwood.
Or 5th.
What?
4th or 5th.
Oh, fourth. Okay, and then the following day at high noon, we will be at the Edmonds Art Festival up above the library.
Above the library, yes.
Not really hovering above the roof, but
yes.
kind of up the hill.
There'll be a little stage there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. The other thing being is that on June 10th will be the next Fortnight of Doom. Given the current fiscal situation of the United States, it's going to be busted out all over. We'll play on Rodgers and Hammerstein there.
Yep.
And our guests will be Magical Strings.
Yes.
So
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
y'all come back now, you hear?
Yeah. So
So thank you very much, Kat, for being you and being here. And
Thank you for the invitation. It's wonderful to hang out with you guys, even in the virtual world.
yeah.
Wonderful to hear you.
We'll do it in the flesh sometime in the foreseeable.
Well, I can if you would. You have a mailing list, right? I assume. Or do you?
Oh, what?
Do you have a mailing list?
Not really. No.
Okay.
I have the Facebook thing and I have the Patreon thing and
Cool. Figure out how because maybe
And a
it's time to head over to where you're playing and visit you for a change.
well, there's a few things happening here on the island this year coming up that I'll be doing. Nothing off island. I'm mostly teaching these days, which suits me fine. I love to do that. So
Easy commute.
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Couple miles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Let's see. So, what was I doing?
Songs.
The songwriter and using way too many metaphors. In this case, the house as a symbol for a relationship or something you're building. When our house was built, when our life was planned, it stood on what seemed solid rock that turned to sand. It was small and warm, no castle high. It was just enough to make a home for you and I. We should have seen it coming, yes, we should. So long in the rain and sun it stood. But there was too much fire and strength of wills when our house was built. When the roof caved in, when it crashed to the floor, we both covered our heads and ran for the open door. It was a shrapnel fall, splintered oaken beam that fell and twisted arrows down, so it seemed. We should have seen it coming, yes, we should. So long in the rain and sun it stood. But when the roof caved in, When the walls came down, some time had passed. Where once had stood a ruin was a field of grass, where the wild rose and the berry vine took back to their hearts what had been yours and mine. We should have seen it coming, yes, we should. So long in the rain and sun it stood, that it couldn't end as fallow ground. Should have seen it coming, yes, we should. So long in the rain and sun it stood, that we made our peace and moved along. When the walls came down.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, Will and Felicia say hi. They are watching.
Oh, hi! I miss you. Let's talk soon.
Yes. Yeah. Before
So-
you go on, one final thing, if you would please. I mentioned to you before. So I'm going to put a link in the chat for both of them, and that link is the Zoom link that we currently have. And once we go off of live, we're going to hang out for a few. That's interesting.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm there. That was weird. My microphone decided to not work for a bit. Anyway, we're going to put a link in the chat for a Zoom link, and we'll spend a little time after we go off of live and hang out and talk a little bit, and then we'll go have dinner. So, yeah. So take us out, please.
All right. This is my my hit. I'm just gonna. It just seems like the right thing to say goodbye on, especially since I kind of wrote it about this place.
Oh.
I wrote this as a letter many years ago. Would you go if you could, back over years long past, to a house that stood by gray water and green grass, and the age you are, your folks were then. The kitchen table was level with your chin. If someone gave you the power, would you go home? Would you take, if you could, a single hour or day from the hard to the good? What do you think you'd say? The bedtime book, the birthday cake, your mother's gift, your dad's mistake. If someone gave you the power, would you go home? Would you find, if you could, who might have dropped the ball? Was it blows or words? And who let the first one fall? If you had the chance to get revenge, would you take the sword or make amends? If someone gave you the power, if someone gave you the power, would you go home? Home, home.
Okay, another collective sigh. Whatever, brothers.
And you were speaking of metaphors, and I just ran into a wonderful little saying: "Metaphors be with you."
Ouch!
Oh, I know that hurt. That really hurt. So
It is the way.
it is the way. So actually we would appreciate it if you would keep us up on your play so that we can broadcast that out if you get a chance to do that. That would be great.
I'll do that. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
And
Let
please
me
do
know.
remember that there's a PayPal link there. Please do. Please.
Yes, donate early and often. Remember,
Please,
it's never
yes.
too late to donate.
It is absolutely not. And she is our
Old
favorite.
busking line.
Yeah. So Kat Eggleston, the diva of Dagdad.
Queen of Baghdad, according to Rob.
Queen of
That's hard to
Dagdad.
say.
All right.
Thank
so,
you.
We're fading off into the distance now.
We are. Yes. So we're
But
going to
if
go
you-
off of live.
You can look at the Zoom link and come and have a short chat.
Yeah.
But I'm getting hungry, so make it quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, thank you all for coming. We'll see you next time. And remember, magical strings, and we'll make sure we send out the emails as usual. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even a little earlier.
maybe a little earlier.
But
Yeah.
Don't hold your breath.
All right. Well, thanks, Kat. Really appreciate it as always.
Thank you,
And,
guys.
yeah.
Thank you.
And so we'll see you on the other side of live when I stop.